Hello, good day. How are you today? You're good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That's good. Today in agricultural science, we are going to be learning about propagation of plants and crops. Okay? Our topic for today in agricultural science is on propagation of plants and crops. Are you ready for today's lesson? Today's lesson is on propagation of plants and crops. So first we're going to be looking at the meaning of propagation of plants and crops. Propagation is the process of creating new plants from existing ones. It's how we reproduce and grow more plants. Okay? Do we understand? Propagation of plants and crops, it involves the reproduction and multiplication of plant species. Okay? This is how we make more plants and crops. Do we get that? There are two main types of propagation. We're going to be looking at the two main types of propagation. We have sexual propagation and asexual propagation. So first we're going to be looking at sexual propagation. Sexual propagation involves the use of seeds, which are produced through the fission of male and female reproductive cells. This method introduced genetic diversity, leading to variations in offspring. It is common for many types of plants, including vegetables, fruits, and flowering plants. Okay, sexual propagation starts with the formation of seeds within flowers of plants. Flowers have male parts that produce pollen and female parts that contain ovals. Pollination occurs when pollen from the male parts lands on the female parts. After pollination, the pollen travels to the ovals, leading to fertilization. This process combines genetic material from the male and female parts of the flower, resulting in the development of a seed. Once the seeds are formed, they are usually protected within a fruit. Different methods of seed dispersal, such as wind, animals, or water, help seeds spread and find a suitable place to grow. When a seed lands in a favorable environment with adequate moisture, light, and warmth, it can germinate. This means it grows into a new plant. The embryo inside the seed begins to develop roots and shoots. Okay, as the seedling grows, it develops into a mature plant. The plant may eventually produce its own flowers, starting the cycle over again. Do we understand? The second type of propagation, asexual propagation. Asexual propagation, on the other hand, does not involve seeds and maintains the genetic characteristics of the parent plant. There are two main categories of asexual propagation: the natural and artificial methods. Okay, asexual propagation is a way to make new plants that are exactly like the parent plant. It doesn't involve the formation of seeds. I would say there are two main categories of asexual propagation: the natural and artificial methods. First, we're going to be looking at the natural methods. Runners. Some plants, like strawberries, produce long stems that develop roots and new plantlets at their tips, effectively creating new plants. So certain plants, like strawberries, send out long stems called runners. These runners develop roots and grow new plants at their tips. Each new plant is genetically the same as the parent. Okay? Suckers. Plants like roses and fruit trees can develop shoots called suckers that can be separated and transplanted to grow new plants. Okay? Some plants produce shoots or branches near the base. These can be separated from the parent plant and planted to grow into new identical plants. Cuttings. This method involves taking a portion of a parent plant, such as a stem or leaf, and encouraging it to grow roots and develop into a new plant. Okay, do we understand? One common method is taking a part of a parent plant, like a stem or a leaf, and planting it in soil. With the right conditions, it can grow into a new plant. This new plant is a clone of the parent because it has the same genes. Okay? Division. Perennials like oysters can be divided into sections, each with roots and shoots, which can be replanted to reproduce multiple. Okay? Some perennials, such as oysters, can be divided into sections, each with its own roots and shoots. Each section can be replanted and will grow into a new plant just like the parent. Do we understand? Remember, we are looking at the natural methods of asexual propagation. Okay? And we said asexual propagation is a way to make new plants that are exactly like the parent plant. It doesn't involve the formation of seeds. So the natural methods, we said the runners, suckers, cuttings, and division. So next we're going to be looking at the artificial methods of asexual propagation. 1. Grafting. This technique involves joining a scion with a rootstock to create a new plant. It's commonly used for fruit trees and ornamental plants. Grafting involves taking a piece of one plant and attaching it to another plant. These two parts grow together and become one plant. This method is often used in fruit trees to combine the qualities of different varieties onto a single tree. Okay, do we understand that? Imagine taking a part from one plant and sticking it onto another plant. They grow together and become one plant. Okay, good. Budding. Similar to grafting, budding involves attaching a single bud with a small section of stem to the rootstock. It's often used for fruit trees. Budding is similar to grafting, but we only take a small part with a bud and attach it to another plant. Okay? And it's often done with fruit trees to add new varieties. Do we understand? Budding involves attaching a single bud with a small section of the stem onto another plant. Okay? Laying. In laying, a portion of a plant stem is buried in soil while still attached to the parent plant. Once roots develop, it can be separated and transplanted. Okay? In laying, a branch or stem of a plant is bent down to the ground and covered with soil while it's still attached to the parent plant. Roots grow from the buried part and it can be separated to form a new plant. Do we understand? Think of bending a branch of a plant down to the ground and covering it with soil while it's still connected to the parent plant. Roots grow from the buried part and then it's separated to become a new plant. This method helps people control what kind of plants they grow, making sure they have the traits they want. Okay? Do we understand? Good. So today's lesson on propagation of plants and crops. We understood it, right? We did, right? Good. We said propagation means making more plants, and there are two main ways: sexual and asexual. Did we say that? There are two types of propagation: sexual and asexual propagation, right? And we looked at sexual propagation. Seeds are used for this, right? Flowers have male and female parts that combine to make seeds. Seeds grow into new plants. We say that, right? Then we looked at asexual propagation. No seeds are needed. Makes plant exactly like the parent plant, and there are two types of asexual propagation: natural and artificial. We said the natural methods of asexual propagation, plants can make new plants without seeds. Runners like strawberry vines, suckers and shooters from the plants, cuttings growing from pieces of the parent plant, division splitting the plant into sections. We said that, right? Good. Then we looked at the artificial methods of asexual propagation. People help make new plants. Grafting, combining two parts into one. Budding, adding a bud from one plant to another. Laying, bearing a branch to make new roots. Okay, so these methods help gardeners and farmers grow plants and crops with specific traits they want. It's like plant science for making more plants. Okay, so we understood today's lesson on propagation of plants and crops, right? Okay, that's good. So next we are going to be looking at our assignment. I'm sure we are going to be able to do our assignments, right? Okay, that's good.